Hi everyone, in this video I wanted to show you two major updates that I've done to the solar power station. The first one is the addition of the TFT screen. So you can see the TFT screen here, and apologies for being zoomed right in, but if I don't zoom in, the camera struggles with it terribly and it can't actually see it. In reality, the colours are actually more bold than this, and it's sharper and it looks very clean. The camera's picked it out really weird, but whatever. So in the TFT, I've got the solar voltage, so we've got the solar amperage, we've got the battery voltage, the charge amperage. The charge amperage is the amperage of the power that comes from the charge controller to the battery. We've got drain amperage. Drain amperage is the power or the amperage which is going from the batteries to the inverter. Light lux is of course the amount of light in the atmosphere or the environment or whatever. AI, that signifies if artificial intelligence is on, I can actually switch it off. Power source, that's the current power source which AI has selected, whether the inverter is on and whether it's connected to my server. So that's the first change basically, the TFT screen. So I'll just zoom out and you can have a proper look at it, but as you can see the camera really struggles. The second part of the update is this, and this is an IR controller, an IR remote control. And over here I've got an IR sensor. Where is it? It's there. It's this thing sticking out here. So there's the IR sensor and there's the remote control. And I don't know if you remember, but in one of my previous videos I've shown you these buttons here. One of them controlled AI, turned it on or off. Another one controlled the power source, another one controlled whether the inverter is on or off, and another one was emergency shut off. But now, well, what I want to do is get a keypad for that and replace these buttons because it looks awful. So I'm going to get a keypad. But anyway, now those buttons 1, 2, 3 and 4 are on here. So these buttons 1, 2, 3, 4 correspond to those buttons. Anyway, I'm actually going to show you it working now. So I'll go back to the TFT. Now, like I said, my camera really struggles with this. But if I go to, let's go down. This thing's going to zoom in. Yeah, there you go. So on my remote, let's put this in the way of the camera, so you can see buttons 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if I press button 1, it should turn the AI off. And there you can see, AI on, no. Press the button again, it'll turn on. And there you go, so I'll turn AI back off. And then switch the power source, so this is button 2. Button 2 will switch the power source. And there you go, solar. It's also switched the light off as well. The inverter's not on, so that's why. So I'll put it back onto mains, and it's back on. Switch it off again, and now I'll switch the inverter on. And the inverter's on. Now I'll turn the inverter back off, and let's put mains back on, so mains is on. And now button 4 is the shutdown button, so if I press 4, the whole lot should shut down. And there we go. And I'll just put AI back on, and the system will decide everything. And yeah, so that's the system as it is. That's as far as I've got. So there's the TFT screen and there's the remote. So now moving on to current issues. The first issue is that now I've got the TFT, it's on permanently. So it's basically burning away energy when I don't need it to. It's not a huge deal, but it's something I want to sort out. So usually what I would do is I'd put an NPN transistor on the ground line of the backlight, and I'd get the controller here to write high or write low to the NPN transistor, and simply cut the power source to the backlight. However, I can't do that. The reason why I can't do it is because the backlight and the chip itself, the driver or whatever it's called, are both sharing the same ground line over here. So if I was to cut the ground line, which is what you'd usually do, you switch the ground line, I'd cut off the power to the chip itself as well as the backlight, and I don't want to do that because, you know, I like the chip to be able to carry on its processing and whatever on here. I just want to turn the backlight off because it's the backlight that consumes most of the power. Anyway, So what I'd have to do is, there are two plus pins, if you like, plus voltage pins. There's one for the backlight and there's one for the chip. So if I get the one for the backlight, I could put a PNP transistor in instead of an NPN and do high side switching. So yeah, that's my idea for that. But specifically how I'm going to turn it on and off, I haven't quite decided. I've got an idea though. I think what I'm going to do is, I'll get this remote here, and whenever the controller detects the OK button, it will turn it on, and if it detects it again and it's on, it will turn it off. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably come up here, press OK, expect that to turn on, do whatever I need to do, press OK, turn it off. So anyway, that's the first issue. The second issue is these buttons here, it's a mess and I don't particularly like it, and I'd like to use a keypad instead, a more professional thing. So the look and feel would be a bit more like this, you know, a proper keypad, so you press the buttons on it or whatever. I mean, again, it's not completely necessary, but it would be good. So get rid of these awful buttons and have a keypad. That's the next thing. There's also another thing as well which is quite important, and I won't spend too much time on this, but the AI controller, when it detects that light is low, it switches over to mains, and when it detects that light is over a certain amount, it switches over to solar. Those of you who have been following the videos will know that. And you know, there's another constraint as well about battery voltage. But what I've noticed is that in dusk and dawn, sometimes irradiance can revolve around 5,000 lux. So the sun, if it's 5,500, a minute later it could be 5,200, a minute later it could be 5,100, and then a minute later it could be 5,000, then it could be 4,900, but then it could go up to 5,000 again, and then it could go to 5,200, then it could drop down to 4,800. I mean, if you imagine a graph that's sort of like this, at dusk, it actually is more like this. So yeah. So what happens is that at about dawn and dusk, the contactors like switching on and off constantly for about 5 minutes. So I need to do something with that as well. I've got a couple of ideas, but I'm not 100% yet. And finally, but I'm not saying this is going to be for the next video or anything, I need to find out how to make the ESP32 work with RS485. I really need to know how to do that, because essentially all this is doing, this nano, is it's just doing that. It's just reading the RS485, and really this is more than capable. It's just that I can't work out how to do it. So there's actually no need for this nano to be here. So I'd like to be able to miniaturise that a bit more. But anyway, that's probably for the maybe distant future. So anyway, that's everything for now, and thank you for watching, and goodbye.